All right, guys, so this is the third video, and in this video, I'm going to go over how we apply textures to our new generic model, and then how we import that into a project. I'm also going to discuss a little bit the next assignment. So you guys missed it. I was just having a conversation, I guess you could say, with my dog, and about how he always interrupts my video making. I should have recorded that. I think you guys would have really enjoyed it, but we'll see. I'm sure it'll happen again. Okay, so if you remember from the furniture piece, we have sort of a dark wood texture for the shelving units, and then we have a light wood texture for the structure. So what I have done is gone on to SketchUpTextureClub.com. Let me go to the homepage. And this is what it looks like. And hopefully by now you guys all have a account with this. It's kind of looks like a cheap site, but there's really some great textures in here that work amazing for all SketchUp models, and we can bring them into Revit as well. So I'm going to go to textures in here, and what I've done is gone into architecture, wood, fine wood, and I went into the dark and light wood, and I picked two tones that I thought work well for this model. So just to show you what those are, I'm going to go to my desktop, and the dark wood, say, comes like this. So here's the image I got. Okay. Then I took that into Photoshop and I saved as, and I just called it dark wood H for horizontal. And I made a copy of it. And, or rather, then I just rotated the canvas to make the grain vertical, and I saved as again. And I have this file. So I have two dark textures and two light textures, one for a horizontal grain and one for a vertical grain. And I'll show you why I needed those as we move forward. So 4 textures, right? Horizontal, vertical for each. Okay. So let's apply our textures. Let's create them and then apply them. So I'm going to go to the Manage tab and go to Materials. Now, this material browser is really where we go to create all of our materials. Now, I like creating them from scratch. There's built-in ones, but they're always kind of finicky, and it all depends if the certain files are located and uploaded. So it's hit or miss. I guess I'll say it depends on the computer you're on. So what I'm going to do is just create a new material. So I'm going to hit this little plus down here, create new material. So here it is, default new material. Now, each material on this list over here has 3 tabs over here. So the first tab I'm going to go to is identity. So I'm in the default new material, the one we just made, and I'm going to call this dark wood H for horizontal. And then I'm going to go to appearance over here, the right tab. You can see it already changed the name here, which is really nice. I'm going to hover over the image box here, and I'm going to just click in this box. Now I can upload the dark wood H texture and hit open. There it is. Okay, so that is the sort of textures like sort of made. It's using the image. Everything is looking good. Next thing I want to do is go to graphics, go back one. And for shading, I want to click use render appearance. This means that if I'm on the shading setting in my visuals, I'll be able to sort of get a sense of the wood tone. Okay. Otherwise, if that wasn't checked, this was gray, it'll just appear gray. So I want to do use render appearance. I'll leave these surface patterns for now. Let me just close those. So we brought an image into appearance. Well, let's just say we changed the name and identity. We brought an image into appearance, and then we went back to graphics and just clicked use render appearance. Now I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so I'm going to grab this bottom shape down here, not the void form, but the outer form. There we go. And I'm going to go over to the project properties over here, the properties for this material or for this object. And I'm going to go to material, and for by category, I'm just going to click on that little button, and I'm going to click dark wood H and hit OK. Now I can see the wood tone in there. That looks pretty nice. So if I currently have it on realistic settings, but if I have it on shaded, it still stays brown, which is kind of exactly what I would want. All right, so I am going to change all of these to that material, dark wood H. Just do H for now. I'm in shaded right now, but that's fine. And we can change it back to realistic, dark wood H. So if I do realistic, I can see the tone in there. So that looks pretty good. So let's make a light wood H for the frame. So I'm going to go to manage materials, and I'm going to go to new material called default new material. And I'll call this, let's see, light wood H. I'll go to appearance, go to the image button, and I'll pick Lightwood H, that file I saved. That looks good. Go back to graphics and click use render appearance for my shaded setting. Hit OK. So now I'm going to try to grab both of these. And then I'm going to go to material and choose Lightwood H and hit OK. So there that is. So, okay. That looks pretty good. I mean, it's not bad, right? So if I go to shaded, those texture colors are sort of still assigned to it. If I go to realistic, then I can see the wood grain. Now, how do I change sort of the grain direction? So, for example, right here, let's say I want the grain to go vertical like it is in this image here and on the back. How do I do that? So what I'm going to do is actually make a new material. So I'm going to go to manage materials, and I'll make a new one, create new material, and I'll call this one dark wood V for vertical. I'm going to go to appearance, go to image, and I'm going to upload the other file I made, dark wood V. Okay, I'm going to hit open. So now my grain's running the other direction, right? Okay, I'm going to go to graphics, click use render appearance, and hit OK. All right, so how do I change just this one panel right here? So what I want to do is go to modify, and where are we? Right here. I want to go to this button here. Is that it? Right here. Paint. Right there. So I'm going to click, let's see what the down arrow does. Okay, I'm just going to click paint, and now I'm going to click dark wood V. I'm going to hover over this panel and click. You see how the direction changed on only that panel? It also is the case on the inside and the back. Do it back there. I'll do it over here. So now I have probably back here too. Well, undo that last one. So I have the grain sort of running where it should be on there. Now let's do the same thing for the light wood. Like, for example, if you look here, it looks like the grain's going the wrong way, right? It wouldn't be made like that. That would be ridiculous. You could just snap this thing in half. So I'm going to go up to create materials, and I will make a new one. And I'm going to call this one light wood V for vertical. I'll go to appearance, go to image, light wood V, hit open, graphics, use render appearance, hit OK. I'm going to do the same thing. Go to modify, paint. I'm going to pick Lightwood V. Just going to click on that surface. See if I can get it. There we go. That looks good. That looks way better. This surface too, that don't look so good. It's not really liking the, well, it's kind of liking the curve there. Let's see if I can get this. Maybe I have to tab it. Oh, there we go. Got that. So I can sort of go through and there we go. So that looks better. Now up here, I might want that to be horizontal. So I got that changed. Let's see if I can get this. Kind of hitting tab there. That's why I'm getting the noise, but I'm trying to get this to be. Let's see if I can. Let's try that one. Come on. Oh, that already is on H. Let's change this one to vertical. That looks better. Not going to be quite like angled correctly, but it'll look better. Let's see if we can. Maybe this one needs to be V. Yeah. Okay, that looks better. So you can kind of play around with the painting the different sort of what do you call it? Polygons, whatever you like. I can make these all light wood on the inside if I wanted, but the outside's still dark. So that's kind of nice. So in short, I mean, what we've done here is sort of imported two textures. We've assigned them to a material, and then we kind of tweak the material further by importing the vertical or horizontal version of those textures. So maybe just to show you real quick in Photoshop how you can take a texture and save it and then rotate it. I'm just going to open Photoshop. You might be able to do this with any normal like photo editing program. So I'll just open one of these. So let's say I downloaded from SketchUp this file. Now, it wouldn't have this name. It would have something crazy. So what I would do is do File, Save As, JPEG, call it Darkwood H, which I've already done. Okay, cancel. Or save for you, but I'm just canceling to show you. Now, if I want to rotate this whole thing, I'm just going to go Image rotation, 90 degrees clockwise. There, it's rotated. Then I can do File, Save As, Darkwood V. So then I have a copy of each, and I can use them for two different materials. I've been most successful by doing it this technique. So that's basically it for the material. Now let's say we're done and I want to bring this into a project. Okay. So I'm just going to save this because I've already saved it. I don't have a project open. I'm going to close all the windows here except my 3D view here. And there we go. And now I'm going to go to File, New Project, or open a project that you have going on already. I'll go to Default. And I'm just going to make a simple floor and a simple wall. So let's just start with a generic wall. I'll just do like a 10-foot wall. And then I'm going to go and make a very simple floor. Okay, hit the green check. And let's go to a 3D view. Oh, isn't that lovely? I'm going to hide these. And I'm going to switch this to realistic. I'm going to turn on some other graphic display options. Okay, so we have some sort of world that this is going to live in. All right, so I'm going to go back to level 1 in my project, and I'm going to place that bookshelf right here on the floor. So I'm going to go to the model that I've created, and I'm going to click Load into Project. So that's the one I have open. Now, right away, it'll ask you to place it, which I could. So I'll put it right here for now. And if I'm already in the project, I've loaded it, but I want to place it again, I can simply just go up to Component right here. And there it is, will be in a list. So there's some furniture already loaded in the default, but here is my bookshelf that I created. And I can say, put that on the middle of the wall. Maybe I'll bring it out from the wall a little bit. And I'll delete this one. Let's go to the 3D view. There it is, my lonely bookshelf. It looks good though. It looks like it's modeled correctly. Now it'll appear in all my drawings. and I can sort of go from there. So what I'd like you to do for your next project or your next assignment is really all about that eccentric collector project still. So you've picked a collector, you've picked a collection, you've made some sort of structure, you've done the structure within it, you've done windows within it. Now we sort of want to design a element that will live in your project. So this element is meant to be sort of a way to showcase whatever it is that your eccentric collector is showing off. So let's say it's cars. For cars, I've seen students do like these sort of ramping things to show the cars like in action to sort of display them. So it could be a way to get the car up a little higher and sort of look cool in its world. It could be a really unique shelving system that sort of holds whatever it is that you're wanting to showcase. One student had rocks as his sort of collection, and he designed these like immaculate display cases for rocks. Now, here's what I want you to sort of think about. How does it fit within your structure? Okay, so like what I wouldn't want you to do is design some little tiny piece of furniture that looks like it could have been bought on IKEA, much like we just did, and placed into your project, right? I would want this to sort of fit into my building. So at the very least, I might want to think about, okay, what's my structural bay? What how could my shelving system for my project fit in the structural bay? So in this case, what if this thing sort of elongated to fit the bay and it was like a real long thing that fit in every bay? So there was like this beautiful display shelving system for each structural bay. So as I'm walking through it, there's a sort of synergistic relationship between the display or this generic model that I made and the building that it's living in. So I definitely want you to think about that. How could these things sort of talk to each other more? So that's kind of the idea. Let me know if you have any questions or any problems, especially with materials or anything. Chat me up, but that's where we're headed. So really think about what could this thing be? Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.